Hello! So, in today's episode, I wanna tell you my basic, universally applicable tools that I use for myself day to day to be more charismatic, to, yeah, just have nice vibes and to vibe with people. And have great conversations. So yeah, if you struggle to start a relationship, start a meaningful conversation, tend to be overwhelmed by your emotions, that video probably can help you. So without further ado, let's get started. So number one, and this tool, this tip, or whatever you want to call it, I preach it pretty much to everyone. I That's like the single most useful tools I found for myself. Not just in conversation, charisma, or whatever. Overall, in all of my life, whenever my emotions get really strong and I start to feel being overwhelmed, I take a deep breath. That's the most simplest tool, but therefore also the most effective tools of all. I can use it whenever, wherever. Just whenever I start to have hang-ups, whenever I'm starting to get scattered, I'm like to get some kind of reset, to come back into a more calm state of being. It's directly tied to our nervous system, to our subconscious, to the parasympathetic of our nervous system, which is like just it signals the body that you can relax, and it's really powerful. Love this tool, use it so much. It really helped me to just find clarity in an intense moment, to move forward, to find like how do I actually want to proceed and not just be reactive. So yeah, that's best of all. Second aspect is learn to be comfortable with yourself, enjoy yourself, especially not just comfortable, enjoying yourself is so important. That just when you learn to enjoy yourself, that's and what I mean by that is just to enjoy your own company, doing things that you enjoy, and just on a more meaningful level. That's also an art that you figure out by over time, but it's important to have a good amount of alone time for that. To at least in my experience, to find yourself. Um, where I remember when I was living alone in Munich, and I was pretty lonely, but since I wasn't the most sociable person, I just really found ways to enjoy myself. Whenever just sitting in front of the computer and consuming content was just not fulfilling, I would do things like, okay, let's change scenery, go for a walk, just stroll through the inner city of a beautiful place or where I haven't been, watch a movie by myself. It's really nice. Even go out eating by yourself, just with yourself. Do things that you yourself truly enjoy. And the beautiful thing is when you're by yourself in that way, there is no one to make compromises with. You compromise on yourself. So you can really do those things that you want to do. And I encourage you to do that, because that way you create hobbies, whether it's drawing, maybe you're really into movies and you write blogs about movies, detailed reviews. Maybe you like to write little poetries for yourself. I've done that quite a while to sort out my depression and just tough emotions, bringing them on paper in a way that expresses them just beautifully. So there is some nice aspect that just in art, whether it's writing, drawing, music, um, also just going for a nice long stroll to sort out your thoughts is really effective. So there are packed in a bunch of my go-tos, whatever tickles your jimmies, and just pursue them, enjoy them. That makes you more interesting. You just have more to talk about, because that's a perfect segue to the next topic. When I meet a new person, I ask that person questions to find. I'm actively searching for interesting aspects about the other person. So that's why I'm saying it of being like a segue, because when you are confronted with the same narrative, so to say, when someone's looking how you're interesting, well, you got to have topics that you are interested in, that you're passionate about, that you can like really talk about in more in depth, more lively, that your eyes start to sparkle. And I look for that sparkle in other people, because if you want to, it's like a basic tip that if you want to be liked by other people, show interest to the other person. Well, you can't fake that. People notice when you're faking. So to come to true interest in another person, another person, is to search for interesting aspects about that person, especially when you don't know that person much. Just discovering. And like a go-to question for me is like, what is your passion? What are your passions? That can be pretty overwhelming for some people, but on the other side, hey, what are you truly interested in? Like, not, maybe it's their work, maybe they're super passionate about their work, maybe they're super passionate about movies, and you can learn something about that. That there you really start to notice which people are superficial and which are not. Most of the time. Some people just have also really difficult times articulating themselves because they are so used to listening. That's also, that exists. Some people, you gotta tickle them more to get something in depth out of them, because they're just not used to share their inner world. That's common. Um, so yeah, that's one aspect. Just to recap, deep breath, looking for their interest, but wasn't there something before that? Oh yeah, uh, enjoy yourself. Yeah, really enjoy yourself. So with that, I already touched upon that in the showing true interest in other person, because other people notice, um, consciously or subconsciously, whether you're lying. So that's another big thing. Be honest. Be like really bluntly honest. But from I'm not talking about brutal. okay, you can be brutally honest, but not to the point where you just slap the face of another person. You kind of can do that, but that's not necessarily charismatic. It depends on the situation. In my case, it's I'm being brutally honest about myself. So, to give you a little example, when I met my girlfriend on a dance night, we had like some nice conversation, and I wanted to go deeper into our talks and outside of the dance floor because it was just too loud. We went for a walk, and it kind of came to the point where I just told her, I'm still a virgin. I'm 25 years old and I'm a virgin. At that point, I was like, no biggie, because I've been also practicing. I wasn't hiding that aspect at that point, no longer at all. And that sparked interest in her alongside other things. We were just really resonating because at that point in our lives we were just so honest with ourselves, and when we were interacting with the other person, it just was beautiful. We didn't hide anything, and then conversations flow so beautifully easy, and it's just feels awesome. um, and that's what I wish for pretty much anybody, to be that content with yourselves, that you just don't that there is not that much fear of being honest. And that was just like a little moment where we are really nice, open, honest with one another, because there were like no strings attached at all. As our relationship progressed, there were again other levels of honesty which were actually really difficult. Boundaries were just crumbling and expanding, and one layer after another was crumbling, and some crumbling of layers was just more painful than others. But that's natural. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So honesty, that's also that's what I live by, and I feel like I don't want to go and give you more, because those are super simple, but also in application they go infinitely deep. So I'll leave you with them. Those are like my crown jewels that I use and that I've been being really successful from, going from a chronic loner, super distant from pretty much anybody, to now having beautiful relationships with amazing friends, family, now a girlfriend with which I'm super happy with, and I'm now in a relationship for over 2 years, and I just flow beautifully with a lot of people, and that's one of the most fulfilling aspects in life, forging those connections, deepening some of the beautiful connections, exploring them with people that are capable of depth. Um, and yeah, uh, at this point, I just want to leave you with a little quote. Um, you can meet only a person as deeply as you have met yourself. So, on that note, have a wonderful time wherever you are, and